out hunting. Didn't get real lucky tonight, but that's all right. You know what I mean? Sitting over here with one of my agents here, man. What's up, bro?
Right, my name is Mario, the door knocker.
That's the knock knock.
Knock, knock, boy.
You know what I mean?
I break your door down, you don't answer.
But I hope everybody's tending to that weather out there, man. It's not looking nice out there. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
terrible out there. I hope it goes away. I can't wait
Yeah,
spring to get here.
that's a fact, man. I'm tired of this cold,
Yep,
man. I
got
don't
that
like it. You see, I need to get some meat like this guy over here.
right.
You got all this meat. That's why you don't get cold. See, you don't get cold because he's a.
Yeah,
You know
hey.
what I mean?
I eat good. What do you expect?
Yeah, you funny
You
guy.
know?
You know what I mean? Well, what's up, man? We here, man.
I
I
don't
thought I'd come
know.
out and do
Hey,
this
let me
live
ask you a
now.
question, MD.
What's up?
How did you feel when you first started being a bounty hunter? What made you do it?
See, it's a different story. See, even some of the viewers, right? I have them on some of the older episodes, and you even kind of know this, I think. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Sitting back, you know, me and my brother, man. You know what I mean? We wanted to go and find the family. I'm watching Dog the Bounty Hunter. That's like one of my favorite shows.
That's what I'm on too.
You know what I mean? I was sitting back, one day, my son running around, and I got to listening to his story, man. I saw one of his episodes, and they always catch everybody that they went out for. Like, I didn't know anything about bounty hunting. I just said, you know what, he's good with what he's doing. That's the man right there. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But it took about a little bit over a year because I didn't understand why it was so hard to get into this line of work. You know what I mean? But now I understand that you know I'm not personally going to give anybody 50K. I'm not even going to probably give anybody 1,500
Yeah.
and say, here, go retrieve that from me, especially when I don't know. So now I understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't just jump into a world like this. It takes knowing a bondsman or knowing a bounty hunter. That'll actually give you a chance for something like that. A lot of people think coming in on a field like this, you could just go in there and I want to do this job. It's not that simple.
Nope,
It's not.
it's not that easy. It's
You
pretty
know.
hard. You gotta know. You gotta know how to find a person. You gotta know how to look for the person. You gotta find out who they hang with.
Well, we're
And
not going. I mean, not for nothing, but every one of them's different.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You
yep.
can't, attack one the same way you would another. But neither here nor there. But getting into this field though, man, it took a long time. You know what I mean? But when you're dedicated on wanting to do something and try to achieve something, nothing's gonna get in your way of that. You're focused on pursuing that. But make a long story short, I had one bondsman that, you know, his one question was to me, which I asked in return other people when they come to me and ask me about this field. And he said to me, why do you want to do that job? Like, why? You know what I mean? And I really didn't know how to answer that. I didn't know how to answer that. You know what I mean? But I knew that if I tried it, I was going to be good or try to be the best one at it. You know what I mean? But,
You never give him an answer.
what's that?
You never give him an answer.
I just told him I'll be good at it. You know what I mean? I think I'm good at it. Good asset to that. You know what I mean? Because in my life, a lot of things I've seen, you could take bad or however you would want to identify it, and you could take that and turn it around and use that for something good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always something good out of every bad situation. You know what I mean? So I kind of took that and ran with it, man. Not for nothing. That's just. What about you? You know what I mean?
I wanted to do it because I like chasing people. I wanted to do it because I always see my dad working as a prison. He was a prison guard. A long time ago, he would put his handcuffs on, his belt, his guns.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to my other cousin who was a constable, and I told him I wanted to be just like you. You know.
How
You
old
know
were you?
how old I was when I told him that.
Yeah.
I was probably 16, and then he passed away because he had a bad heart.
Sorry about
And
that.
I followed my dream that I said what, since I can't, I messed up. Everybody mixed up. There ain't nobody perfect in this world. The only person in this world is better is God.
That's a fact.
You
I
know.
agree with that 100%.
And then
Man.
when I messed it up, I started watching The Bounty Hunter. I'm like, you know what? I think I would like doing that.
What was it like your first time going out?
Well, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, you know, and I'm glad you gave me that chance, you know what I mean?
Okay, bro.
You know, and I want to prove to you that I can do it, you know what I mean? Sometimes when you give me that chance to go on my own, I want to show you.
Oh, and about the going on the own thing, okay? Now Mario, he's been running for a while. You know what I mean? We should prepare a skit. We should do a skit. You want your own file, right?
Yeah, I want my own file. That's the only way I can show you that I can do
You
it.
ain't gotta show me nothing. You can show for yourself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I can show anybody. I can show the whole world that I can do it. You know,
Show yourself.
and I can prove to myself that you know what I mean I can do it. And
Yeah.
I give myself a pat in the back saying that look I did it.
No doubt, man. No
I
doubt.
caught this guy in the way that you know what I mean. But
I mean, I could dig that. You know, they're all different. You know what I mean? You can't get personal with them, but
yeah,
treat them all like how do you treat them? How do you treat
human beings.
human beings?
You
Right.
show them how you want to be respected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to respect, you gotta give the same person the respect that you want.
It's a fact.
Because if you can't give it to him, why should you get the respect then? You know what I mean? Because then you gonna sit back and be like, damn, he gave me a good respect and I didn't give it back to him, and I don't think that was right for me to do that back. Let me call him and apologize to him. You know what I mean? Or let me start showing people that I know that I got respect. You know, because if you get respect, you're gonna get respect from a lot of people.
You know, that's a fact.
You know, and it's like, I'm glad you gave me that chance, like I said, and I love it, yo, like for real.
That's what's up, man. Like, what's the craziest thing you saw out there, though?
Crazy thing.
Yeah. You ever get scared when you go into one of these places?
I mean, when I go in the house, I gotta watch out my partner's backs. You know, I gotta also watch my back. You know what I mean? It's like you never know when a guy would jump out of the closet with a gun or from somewhere.
What's your main objective? Like, say when you go in, when say now you the knock. We're gonna let y'all know. We have the 90-pound weights. Knocks and all of that.
Look, you don't need the 90 play, but you got the knock boy right here to do it. I will knock your door down.
You a little extra like that.
Yeah.
You think of a bad memory or something?
Nah, I just want to let them know. You don't
Who
answer.
you let know?
You don't answer your door. I'm breaking that door down. Don't let this boy fool you.
See, now when you break the door down, of course we have to let everyone know that the only time that happens is if we know that our defendant
Is in the house.
is in fact in that house and
Yep.
he is not trying to talk to us or not come out, but we tend to that, as far as breaching, when the time calls for it. So
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have that all the time. You know what I mean? Not
you
all
don't.
the time. We don't have that all the time.
Nope.
Like we say, every case is different. I don't found out sometimes, right? Now I've been in the field, for some years now. You know what I mean? Say 17 and 19, man. Long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every one of them's different. You know what I mean? But I just had a brain freeze, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a brain freeze, man. But like one of the scariest time I went in there, right? Let me see. And actually, it wasn't even in the house. We ran down on this one guy, right? And now, mind you, it doesn't matter all the way from a retail theft, regardless of what it is, all the way up, to an attempted murder, whatever. We're gonna treat them the same.
Yep.
So I believe this one, was actually, something small, but this something small turned into something big. You know what I mean? Make a long story short, he had a sidearm on him. You know what I mean? I had an extra guy with me, but it was such a small bail that I didn't feel that I needed the whole team with me. I just, had one person with me. You know what I mean? But this one guy, had a sidearm on him, and we ended up tussling. And the guy that was with me, he wasn't trained up enough, I mean, he didn't even carry a pair of cuffs. So, in one of the videos I said, the most powerful tool that you have is your brain.
Good.
You know what I mean? Because you never know what's in the mind of the next person. You don't even know what people have on them when you go to, approach defendants or whatever.
You
know what I mean?
You don't even know if he has a friend way behind him, and then somebody attacking him. That you don't know if that person's gonna
Yeah,
come out of the woods or his boys,
facts,
or you don't know what they're
facts,
carrying.
facts. So a lot of red flags. Safety's everything. But
Yeah,
I ended up tussling with this guy, man. You know what I mean? I got him in custody. I mean, I had the help that I had with me. Like I said, he wasn't trained up. He wasn't even a bounty hunter. He was looking and getting into it. And I said it's a small one. Come along for the ride. You know what I mean? This individual had a loaded Glock 19 or something like that on him, man. I don't personally touch sidearms. You know what I mean? But in a situation like that, we immediately jump on the horn with county dispatch. You know what I mean? Have
yeah.
them route some guys on down and all that. We don't touch any of the sidearms any defendants have on that person. You know what I mean? We
You
don't
gotta
we
be
don't deal
prepared.
with that.
You
You
gotta
know
be
what I mean?
prepared when you go up there. You know what I mean? Because you don't want you want to go home the way you left from your job. You want to go home to your loved ones.
Yeah.
You don't. They don't. I know your loved ones don't want that phone call. Oh, we found your husband shot and he's dead. They don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
They
not at
want to see you
all.
walk into that door just the same way you left out that door to go get that guy.
Yeah. If somebody wanted to be a bounty hunter or look into becoming a bounty hunter, and they ran into you, and they said, "Mari, I want to do what you doing."
And I asked him, "You sure you want to do it?
Tell them.
You sure you want to do it? If you want to be a bounty hunter, you want to make sure that you want to do it. Don't say I want to do it, and then you go into the job and say, Nah, I don't want to do that. That's just wasting our time. We don't want you to get hurt at the job, and then you're saying that you wanted to do it, but you changed your mind. You got to make sure that you want to do it. You want to make sure that you want to chase that person. You want to make sure you're there when your partner calls you. Hey, gear up. We got to be ready. We got to be ready to hop in that car and go where we're supposed to go and get this guy. So it's like, don't say, "Oh, I want to be a bounty hunter." You see what we're doing, you know, or somebody down the road's calling you a snitch or whatever. Hey, that's what you said you wanted to be, a bounty hunter. So you're wearing a badge. It's the same way a cop's wearing a badge.
No,
But they're wearing different badges.
we're far from law enforcement. We have no affiliation with any type of law enforcement. Bounty hunters. You know what I mean? Is actually operating under a bail bondsman or themselves if they're licensed or whatever. But every state varies. I know here in the state of Pennsylvania, some years. You know what I mean? Some states vary, but there's no limitations in some states. Some places it just takes for you to know a bondsman, you know, properly trained. They give you a chance to go ahead and close this up. But like I said, states vary. There's no bounty hunter that has any well, excuse me. We're not affiliated with law enforcement nor any type like that. We're just bounty hunters, working bail pieces for a bail bondsman. Um, did he stand by for a minute, folks? You got that?
Yeah. So yeah, you want to be a bounty hunter. Make sure that you want to be a bounty hunter. You know what I mean? We'll make sure that you get trained up real good. We make sure you get things that you need to be a bounty hunter. You know. So you know, give it a try. You like it, you like it.
Yeah.
You know.
Excuse me. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, man. Every state, varies, man. Here, a lot of, one thing I've seen, I wanted to touch bases with this also. A lot of states vary, but as far as bounty hunters going outside, looking with, fully geared out, this, that, and the third. Let me explain something just coming from MD's point of view, okay? Excuse, I'm not, saying nothing about nothing, but, in the state of Pennsylvania, you are required to be able to, you have to identify yourself to the public as a bounty hunter. You cannot look like a tactical SWAT officer. You cannot. Also, this is another thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, take that stuff off," and blah da 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 da. Let me explain something to you. A lot of bounty hunters out there wear vests. They may wear a T-shirt. I've personally, helped out, some other companies where they don't even like T-shirts that says anything bounty hunting anything on it. fair enough. I can understand it now, years later. It could mess up a case, do investigation. They're always going to see you before you see them. Understood that. I don't tell my guys to go out there fully geared out, every time they're going out to work. But if you see anybody in any area, any of my people fully geared out, that's because I tell them to gear out. Because we're not police officers, and the local law enforcement does request that we do ID ourselves in the proper way. You understand? We can't just hop out of a car, with a badge on, with plain clothes on, because people are gonna mistake that to be an undercover detective or something. We're not police officers. There has got to be a way for us to ID ourselves out in the public, even if we're doing surveillance in the car. I mean, the proper way to do things is always to alert the authorities before you start operating any type of bail piece or anything of that sort. If you're playing in somebody's backyard, the respectful thing to do is to let them know that you're there. You understand what I'm saying? And that shows a level of respect. And also, if there's an incident, something going on out there where, something happens, at least the local
police will know.
Authorities know that you are there.
Yeah.
I've seen so many, I've helped out other hunters, you know what I mean? And they just they just go serve the bail piece, don't alert anybody. And it's like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong in a tech. I'm just saying, everybody hunts different. I would never come into somebody else's team helping them out, telling them, why you doing this like this and blah, 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 especially if they've been doing it for a very long time. It doesn't matter how many years you have under your belt. You go outside to work a bail piece, okay, and you're going to be knocking on, defendants' doors, sometimes to actually, detain them and commit them to the local authorities or whatever. You have, it's common sense at the end of the day, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
You gotta know how you do it right.
You need to know what you're doing out there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people do watch TV, and, see bounty hunting shows and all that, and it's like an adrenaline thing for them. But one thing I like to say to people is that, it looks a whole lot different when you're looking at this from a screen. Looking like somebody's grandfather again. That's what we doing?
Nah.
But yeah, man, it's a whole lot different, than what it would on the television or, your cell phone, It's a big adrenaline thing that, when people say it, it's like, oh, I want to do that. But listen, let me explain something. This field is not a game. It's really not a joke here. You know what I mean? It's good for the, when you got your whole, when you're in a situation, when you're actually in a situation, it's not what you know what I mean? It's not all that, I want to do this. I've seen the guys bigger than you. I've seen people bigger than you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, literally, we get the tussling in the projects, let's say the projects in New York City, somewhere, wherever, because we go everywhere. You know what I mean? You get the tussling with somebody. I've seen them bigger than you, like, oh, nah, I'm good.
That's when they turn
I'm
around
cool.
and be like, nah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not a joke out there. Like, it's a lot of people might think, you might be in a, quote unquote, I don't mean no different, like suburban area. You know what I mean? Where it's gonna be a easy pickup or, hey, mom, dad, where's he at? Nah, bro. Nah, that's a different kind of world. You know what I'm saying? How about, going up to like the 17th floor somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Where there's like 50 freaking people all over outside, and you're like, I don't belong over here, but you have a job to do. You know what I mean? You have a job to do. You made a commitment to a bail bondsman, to yourself, to your team, or whatever, that you're going to close that case out. And it's not that anybody has a problem with anyone that we're going after. Let me tell you something. I would say 9 out of 10 people that we've apprehended, we get to talking, and it's like, I could still see any of these people, any defendant outside of work, and I still do. You know what I mean? I don't look at it like, I tell people, I don't have a problem with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know you, bro. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I got a job to do. I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? My bad, but you should have messed up. I don't got nothing against anybody. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
doing your job. You know what I mean?
we're all equal. I'm not better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wake up with stress and everything the same way an average person does. You know what I mean? Like, nobody is better than anybody. This badge doesn't make me. You know what I mean? It's my passion with the youth. You know, like everybody knows. You know what I mean? I'm a bounty hunter for a different reason. You know, the reason why I'm a bounty hunter, is because I feel like I can make a difference. You know what I mean? There's, defendants that, anybody do homework on me, you can holler at defendants that's had a run in with me. They'll tell you what's up. He cool peoples. You know what I mean? I don't got no problem. Nothing like that. It's just a job we have to do. But,
Some people do change. They don't want MD coming knocking on their door. They'll be like, nah, I'm done.
Man.
We know how he is. We're done.
But, something like that. But for people that want to get into this line of work, man,
it's a lot of work to get into. It's a lot of training. You got to make sure you're good. You want to do the training. Because if you can't pass the training, then you're not eligible to be a bounty hunter. Because we don't want you to get hurt out there.
And another thing about the bounty hunting thing, when you go to people, other teams, and they, I want a job. One thing to keep in mind, make sure that you're able to bring something to that table that's not already there. Because I wouldn't want to try to bring somebody on to help me do things that I'm already doing. Like, why am I going to... Like what? Like, why do I need to put somebody, okay, come on over here and help us out with this, but what are you bringing to the table? So before a person goes and thinks about, hey, I want to be a bounty hunter and blah, 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 start analyzing a little bit, do a little bit of homework, you know what I mean?
A little bit of search.
You know what I'm saying? You definitely do. Who's that? Prince Wilson. Yeah, Prince Wilson, that's a fact. You have to work to where you get. You know what I mean? So, like, you have to know that you're bringing something to the table. I've had numerous of people want to come join, jump on the bandwagon with us. You know what I mean? I ask them straightforward. I give I've been known to give a lot of people, you know what I mean? Because I know what that feeling is like. You know what I mean? I know what it's like wanting to have a passion and get into doing something, and you just don't have that one person to say, you know what, here, come on, let's go. I know what that's like, man. I pass no judgment. You know what I mean? I can't say everyone that comes over, you know what I mean, or is able to step across and come help us out. But, for the most part, you have to be able to bring something to the table that's not already there. You know what I mean? What strong points do you have? You know what I mean? If I can't get this defendant this way, what are you gonna do?
To catch him.
To basically say AMD or whatever, let's do it this way, because who wants to hire somebody for nothing?
Yeah.
What are you bringing to the table? Like, you could come say you want a job, but what are you bringing? What are you doing that's gonna make me say, okay, come on out with us? I need you to come out with us. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And this job doesn't consist of guns that you carry. For people, it's not about the guns you carry. It's not about the gear you carry. It's not about any of that gear. Because any bounty hunter, bail bondsman wants to apprehend people without any of that stuff going. It doesn't really matter. It's all in your head, man. It's all in your mind. You don't have to, just because somebody's out on bail, regardless of what their charges are. We were not there. We don't know what happened. We're no one to judge them. That's what the counties are for. You know what I mean? We don't do any of that. So we don't judge anybody off of that. You know what I mean? Another brain freeze for what it is, but we got to get ready to hit the road, though, man. We got about another couple of minutes, man.
How was your, I know when we first caught the guy, well, the second one, it was like we were knocking.
Which one was that?
Then he went into the door, and he went to the kitchen.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. And I said, but damn, he just went to the kitchen. One knocking, he didn't even come to the door. I'm like,
yeah. How long were we working on that one?
We were working on that one for a while.
For a minute?
Well, no, probably like what, 3 days?
About 3 days.
Because we went somewhere, and then he wasn't living there no more, so we ended up going over here, and he was there.
Yo, we gotta get to work, bro. Live, yo. Loyalty is royalty. MD, we're just getting familiar with this live thing, man.
You'll be hearing us more. Trust us.
But for right now, it's crunch time. You already know what time it is. MD, loyalty's royalty. I'll let y'all later.
Later.